What's good, everybody? Man, it's your boy Jay in the building. We is back again with another video. Now, before we get this video started, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys share this video. All right, man. So FAMU is what we're talking about. Now, I know it all looks bad right now, but before I get to the good part of what we should be focusing on, I do want to get to the bad stuff. Now, you lose the head coach. FAMU wasn't proactive. They didn't have anybody in place, and they're still looking from the time he left till now. Y'all even have a search firm to look for a new head coach, right? You lose your director of recruiting. He goes to Colorado. Lose Ryan Smith, your defensive coordinator. He went to Murray State. Lose Troy Johnson, who was the assistant AD for football operations. He's at South Carolina State. You're losing players now. I think Ronnie Hill, the running back from Florida State. Quashawn Sapp, the D lineman from Florida State. Tevin Griffin, who's the son of Ken Griffey Jr. He's at Boise State now. Isaiah Hackett, who was the transfer from UNLV, he decommitted. Quavon Carter, who was the linebacker from Michigan State, he decommitted. And there's no direction at the moment. Like, you see what Nick Saban, y'all see how fast Nick Saban got replaced? You see how fast Bill Belichick got replaced? Two of the top coaches in football history, in NFL or college football, two of the best coaches to ever coach, to ever do it, got replaced in a matter of 3 days. Probably no less than 3 days, they both got replaced. So for FAMU to come off of a championship, and I'm pretty sure they heard behind the scenes about Coach Willie leaving. So for you to not even have nobody in place, even when you probably heard it first, that it just sounds like there's no direction, bro. And I'm pretty sure the guys in that locker room are reckless or are restless. I'm sure the coaches in that locker room are kind of restless because they don't know what's gonna happen once this new head coach comes in. You don't know if he wanted to change that entire football program. You don't know who he wants to bring in. And reminder, the head coach has to come in, has to look at the roster, has to look at the coaching staff, see who he wants in place. He also has to come up with the spring practice schedule to prepare for the spring game that I'm sure is probably going to be in April. So from January to April is where everything has to be finished. Like, you have National Signing Day in February. You have to start a spring practice. I'm pretty sure that's in February. The spring game is in April. You need a new head coach like today. And I don't know what the holdup is, but listen. Y'all need to have whoever y'all have as the interim head coach, have him. You got to hire him as the head coach and call it a day. Hey, listen, I even saw a post, right, that Billy Royal posted about him having like an offer to West Georgia University, but he's calling out the search firm, but yet he put out that he had like her coaching position ready for him in West Georgia or whatever. I don't know, but it don't look good from the outside. Now, what I can say is this. Two things could be true. Yes, FAMU is looking a hot mess right now in terms of leadership because there's no direction at the moment. We don't know who's going to be the new head coach. And I could also say that FAMU still has a top 2 or 3 roster in the SWAC. They still have their offensive line intact. They still have 2 of the top 3 runners from last year. They still have Jeremiah Prudy at tight end, Kobe Gross at tight end. They still have some young guys at receiver who was there last year. Like, they still have Kareem Berkeley. They still have Darren Oxenden. They still have Robert. Like, I want to see Robert Lockhart ball this upcoming season. I'm really going to be super excited to see him get some playing time, especially with them losing. Listen, now, granted, FAMU did lose a lot of production. They lost their offensive player of the year, the defensive player of the year. They lost their top 3 receivers. They lost their top running back. Like, they lost Eric Smith. They did lose some pieces on both offense and defense. But they still have all conference players intact still. Like, they still have players on this roster that can damn near repeat, at least in the SWAC. I think this roster, honestly, is good enough to compete for a repeat. They can. But it's not about having the same players that you had last year, even if they won the championship. It's about reloading what you already have. And I'm not going to necessarily say that they're borderline rebuilding mode. I wouldn't say that because I think their roster is too good to be in rebuilding mode. But that office is moving like they're in rebuilding mode. And they should be in reloading mode. Like, FAMU has enough talent to compete for a SWAC championship again this year. They have enough talent. You just need the leadership in place. And I don't understand what the holdup is. They have enough talent to be able to compete in the SWAC. Now, granted, Jackson State got better. Alabama State got better, especially with Andrew Body being at Alabama State this year. He done shook up at least the East. That East division is going to be extremely tough. Extremely tough. And Alcorn State got better. Fairview A&M got better. So they still have some guys that they need to worry about because other guys around them have a head coach in place, have guys coming, and we still in limbo. Mind you, FAMU, for them to win the SWAC championship and for them to win the Celebration Bowl, they still can't be in limbo about who the next head coach is going to be. You know, but listen, we can't deny that FAMU still has a top 2 talented roster in the SWAC. They still have that. And mind you, I think Darrell Richardson, the quarterback transfer from Florida Atlantic, I think he's still coming. Davion Walker, the transfer from Vanderbilt, he's still coming. Jalen Smith, the transfer from Copiah Lincoln, he's still coming, I believe. And then Amari Johnson. Like, they still have talented players that are not only on the roster, but on the way. So I'm not going to discredit FAMU for what they have already. But when the new head coach appears, if they do decide to hire a new one, you don't know what he wants. You don't know if he wants to change that entire coaching staff. You don't know if he already has a coaching staff in place when he gets there. That's why it needed to be less than a week before you made a decision. You're going on 3 weeks and you're still having an interview process with God knows how many contestants you have. So, FAMU, I would move rather swiftly. I will move quickly because National Signing Day is right around the corner. Then right after that, y'all probably going to prepare for spring practice very soon. Yeah, y'all need to move rather swiftly. So listen, I think FAMU is still talented to compete in this way, even with the talent that they have currently now. But it's not about rebuilding. It's about reloading what you already have. Like, FAMU, man, y'all have enough. Y'all got to just get that leadership under control. Got to get it together, man. We here rooting for you.